Joining us from True Heel Heat, serving faces and heels, we got the one and onlys, Stephanie Hypes here, and Miss KrssiLuv here. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hi, what's up, y'all?
Hey,
Good
friend.
morning.
Good
Good to see y'all.
morning. How are you?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Just here, working.
I miss
trying to get
Chrissy.
a
What is?
Thank you.
Man,
This is a work attire, Gotta.
I
Oh,
love
look
it.
at fancy. Look at the hair. Oh
Love
my
it.
god. Got her
How
hair
are you all
did.
doing?
Fantastic. It's good to have y'all. This
Good.
is a good
Thanks for
excuse.
having us.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us. Yes. So
SP3,
excited.
he did the legwork. I just kind of showed up and now got you here. So this is good. I guess, listen, let's just get it right off the bat. Who is winning the women's Money in the Bank match? I'll start with you, Stephanie.
Well, I have a theory myself. So obviously, we just saw a promo with Charlotte Flair saying she doesn't wait in lines for title matches, and she was given a title match. And there's clearly a very frustrated Bianca Belair. And somehow I feel like Bianca may end up the last woman in that Money in the Bank match.
Ooh. That's actually a good call.
And if she is in that Money in the Bank match, I'm calling Bianca Belair. If she is not, I call Becky.
Okay. I'm listening. Krissy, let's hear.
Who is our picks again? We have Zoe. We have Zelina. Zelina's not winning. We have
Bailey, Io Sky.
Okay, see, I had my
Wow.
Come on, Stephanie. Let's be honest, friend. Like, let's stop the bullshit. Oh,
Zelina's had a good little push, though. She's had a good little push.
Right. But let's just say spades are spades, friend. Like, she's going to be great to be like tossed around, and she's a great wrestler. I just don't think that is her time right now. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Like, we have to be like children. It's like, just stop. So, love her to pieces. I think she's awesome. She had a great shine at Backlash. However, this is okay. Can you see her running around with the Money in the Bank briefcase? Go.
She would be great. She has character work, actually. I think she'd be great with the Money in the Bank briefcase. But to your point, it is not her time right now.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know. I digress.
It's fine.
Now, friend. I really think that Bailey or Io could be really, really good at this. If Bianca or Becky, I don't see Becky winning Money in the Bank. I honestly can tell you, and I love Becky. I'm a Becky stan, but I don't see her winning this. I feel like the thing with Trish and Zoe is going to be a little bit far longer than this whole money. And I think they're going to make her lose. I feel like Trish is going to be some type of factor to not let her win. So I'm putting my money on either Bailey or Io. I'm going to probably go Io.
Do you have a thought as to who would be that last competitor in the match?
I wouldn't be mad at Bianca being there, because you need another strong woman to be an anchor for the other women to make them, look.
Yeah. Like I was saying, they kind of need a powerhouse.
Right. You need a strong woman in it.
I think Piper's out. Raquel's a possibility.
Oh, you need a big girl. We probably need a tall, big girl.
You need a big girl. And I think Piper's out right now. So it would be Raquel. Bianca is not a big girl per se, but she is a strong girl. And I think she would fit that mold really well.
Yeah, so. I think Bianca would be the best pick, to be honest. I don't think Raquel needs to be here right now.
Yeah.
There's a reason doing the Charlotte Flair Asuka match before Money in the Bank. I'm assuming. Because everyone's like, why isn't it on Money in the Bank? Which is a great question.
So
there has to be a reason.
It really should be.
There has to be some reason.
There's two reasons. One is that because they're having the show in the UK on the Friday, they need to push the extra tickets, and that's a big money match to have the crowd come before the night before as well.
True. Yeah. Okay.
And I also think that they already had their matches already planned that they're going to add, because we still don't know what's happening with the Bloodline. Right. Hopefully they make that matchup this Friday on SmackDown. They seem to be building Gunther and Matt Riddle for the Intercontinental Championship on Monday Night Raw. And we don't know when this title match for Zayn and Owens is going to happen after this Friday, when the number one contender is decided in the gauntlet.
Can we cuss on this show?
I'm not going to.
I'm trying to be respectful to Joel. I'm just trying to make sure.
You're fine. You're fine. We're 35.
What the fuck are we doing with Rhea, the other title, the other women's champion,
who has the better belt at this point in time and present? Like,
right,
you know,
the
like
much better belt at this point. But what the fuck are we doing with her?
Yeah.
Besides her being wrapped around Dominic's ass, like, what are we doing?
I mean, I'm fine with her being wrapped around his ass.
match?
I just feel like that she needs to be wrapped around someone else's ass to, you know, so she can be dominant and beat them.
Correct.
Do you believe, either of you, or really all three of us sitting in this, or four of us, do you believe that there is a strength in Rhea's championship, you know, her championship reign, in her just being the way she is now, where no one wants to step to her and everyone just...
Yeah, I like this though. I'm here for her being dominant and no one wants to step up to her. I mean, let's just kind of be honest. Like, who credibly can like step up to her that's on Raw right now? Yeah,
is it realistic?
Natty with
like,
brown hair.
I'm okay. I actually appreciate.
Sorry, don't mention it.
Oh my god! I appreciate that Rhea is actually able to. I appreciate that Rhea can actually interact with the men and hold her ground. I actually love that. I just also would like to see her interacting in the women's division. And I'm sorry, but if Zelina can step up to her, Natalya can step up to her, and yeah, whoever steps up may lose. But if you're in the women's division and you are a pro wrestler, superstar, then I feel like you just need to be like, oh, like, I'm going to try. Like, why do you see what I'm saying? Like, them being scared just doesn't make sense to me. I can see people being hesitant, but every single woman in that locker room should be like, I want a chance at this. Like, I got to try. Like, you know what I mean? Like something, but they don't even have her talking to the women in the locker room. They don't have her interacting with any women in the locker room. And I'm like, you're the women's division leader and you're not even dealing with the women's division at all. I would rather see Rhea dealing with the women's division and have her in the storyline with Dominic and Finn and whoever else. Like, she has the talent to do both, and Raw's hours long. I feel like they can find some time for her to do both. I'm just saying.
You feel like they're not letting her shine, basically, as she should.
Women's champion. Let her have her do a fucking open challenge for all I care. Whatever it might be. Like, you know what I mean?
You do have a great point, because I did the math. Do you know that Rhea Ripley has been in singles matches for a total of 11 minutes since WrestleMania? A total of 11 minutes through a matchup on Raw. I think she faced Dana Brooke, the 69 seconds with Natalya, and the 7 minutes she went with at Backlash against Zelina. So literally out of that 11 minutes, a good 2/3 of it is Zelina Vega's matchup at Backlash. And really, she hasn't been in a feud, because the Zelina Vega Rhea Ripley feud was more of a offshoot of LWO versus Judgment Day. The Natalya feud was literally non-existent, besides Natalya walking
very a promo on her phone and posting it on Twitter.
And walking very slowly to the ring to save Dana Brooke. So there hasn't even been.
She pulled a Rhea Ripley. Yeah. She pulled a Rhea Ripley though. Remember Rhea like came out to save Bianca and like took her sweet ass time. Did the whole entrance, stomp and everything, and they were like, "Come on, girl!" And she's like, "Oh,
yeah,
let me get up there." And the ref's like, "Come on,
we're running out of time. Come on."
No, but like, my thing is, they want to interact with the men, and because some people have said, "Oh, maybe they're building to her versus one of the men," and I'm like, if you want her to do that, you should have had her go after the Intercontinental title, like China did, or the U.S. title, whatever it might be. Like, she should have went after that, and left the women's title to somebody else then, because like, I'm fine with all that. I'm not saying I don't want her to do that, but if she's going to hold the women's division title, she needs to be interacting at some point with the women's division.
And that's what's really interesting to me. And I've had this conversation since before the Royal Rumble, when people were sitting and saying, you know, Rhea's got to win it. Rhea's got to win it. And I said, why? She's nowhere to be found in the women's division. She is dominating the men's, you know, side of things. Let her do, like Stephanie just said, like, let her do the China thing. Let her go off and challenge men. But of course, WWE and intergender wrestling is a whole other conversation that we're not.
They don't want to do it. I don't know.
It's weird because they keep easing it. Like they had Jax do some. They have Rhea every now and then punch somebody. I'm sorry, but the one money match I want to see is Solo Sikoa versus Rhea Ripley. Like, I just want to see it go down.
Yeah.
I do. Like, every time they do that face off, I'm like, come on, pop her, Solo. Do something. Like, I just want them to scrap. And people are like, men can't hit the women. I'm like, look.
They
beast,
practice
right?
all the time in the performance center. Like,
yeah,
correct.
They do this, like they take bumps from the guys all the time. So you train us, but you don't want me to entertain with them. I'm confused.
There's only one guy that they allow to touch the women on screen, and he's currently out with a backiotomy. So you won't be seeing Randy Orton anytime soon versus Rhea Ripley. That's the only guy. He's the only guy who's ever been allowed to interact with women physically, and I never understood it.
And that little dude, who was that little dude that was a Carmella?
Reggie.
No.
Reggie.
Oh yeah, for Reggie. I was talking about the other guy.
Oh
no, the white guy.
Ellsworth. Yeah.
Ellsworth.
Thank you. I'm like, I forgot his name. Sorry. No offense by the white guy.
Right, we can't call him Reggie no more. That's his slave name. His name is Scripps now. Sorry.
His real name is Scripps. He said his people call him that.
I figured that since Dana Brooke is back on NXT, they would kind of like reinvent, like he needs something, and maybe that would spark. I know we're going way off track, but maybe that would attract people to watch more of NXT. Maybe if no, okay, fine.
No. Dana Brooke ain't the person to attract people. I'm sorry. I think Dana Brooke is very talented. I just don't think that they have highlighted the things that she is talented at.
I don't think they have anything for her. That's the problem. They don't know what to do with her.
Did y'all see that promo that she cut on NXT? She proved that she is perfect for NXT by cutting that promo. So
correct.
With that. I'm looking at the Raw women's division right now, and to be honest, they are plagued with injury, with people who are out for various reasons, whether it's pregnancy or they're in tag teams. There really is Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley could have been the match for Money in the Bank,
and that could have honestly been the plan, and it got sidelined because she's injured. The other problem with this, and I do recognize that, like I know we're sitting here saying she's interacted with the women's division. I know the other problem in that is that they haven't built everybody to a point where it could be like a realistic challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, and I do understand that, and that is part of the issue. But the way you book things and the promos and whatever, you can make it like even with Zelina at Backlash, her being in Puerto Rico and it being what it was, like you still had some hope for her, right? Like you're like, maybe she'll throw this. Now Rhea had just gotten the title at Mania, 5%. So we all knew she wasn't dropping it, but you still had some hope. You still had some kind of like, what if she actually pulls this off, right? Like,
you know who could have been
Natty, not so much. Like you knew she was gonna just squash Natty for the most part, because unfortunately that's where they throw Natty in. She has the name, she has the credibility, and it is what it is. So I'm like, you could do that. You could try and figure that out, even if it's like Candice LeRae or like any of those. What's her name? Nikki Cross. Like any of build something so it seems like weren't her and Nikki Cross like tag team partners at one point?
Yep.
They were
champions.
They were the champions, right? Like I was like, you can make something out of that if you really wanted to. Like, and they're just not doing it.
There's a whole other can of worms on top of this, and that is you have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
That was I was gonna say. If you didn't have Shayna as her lapdog, we could be having a great match with Shayna and Rhea. But no, you want to have her as the lapdog for Ronda Rousey. She doesn't even have her own music anymore. She comes out.
But they've been wanting to have.
How dare you?
Wanted to be tag team.
You know I cannot stand Ronda.
2 years, okay, Chrissy. And now they're tag team champions.
Oh, please.
So this is what it does, though, is that it takes all of these women who were formerly available for a singles match, they've clumped them into tag teams, and it shows that there's a general lack of depth because of this.
Yeah.
And so Rhea doesn't have an opponent because everyone that she could face is currently being built in a tag team for a division that Ronda Rousey take seriously, or I'm gonna not care about my job anymore. She hasn't cared about her job in years, so like I don't give a
correct.
What are we doing here?
Demanded it. She demanded.
You could have had Raquel Rodriguez challenge Rhea Ripley instead of being in a 2-minute nothing matchment against Shayna Baszler on this week's Raw.
There's literally history there. They're literally ex-best friends. Like, what are we doing?
Ex-best friends, friend?
Well, I mean, they're friends in real life, but
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
they are ex-best friends. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Go to that. They could still have Raquel step up to Rhea and be like, "You need someone for next week? I'm your gal."
True.
You know? And someone
That's
else
also very
the
true.
women's side of the Money in the Bank match.
Like, I'm thinking women's Money in the Bank, for instance. So I think you Io winning. So I've thought a lot about this because that last woman in the match could be a factor, and I do think it might be Bianca. You know, obviously Becky's tied up with Zoe and Trish, so you know either Trish or Zoe are going to cause her to lose, right? Bayley and Io have obviously had this friction between the two of them. Well, mostly on Io's side, I think. But
and now that Dakota's not there, because she's injured, it kind of leads to like
you could actually use this to further their storyline. If Io ends up winning, I could see Bayley being super jealous, super pissed, her doing the "we won Money in the Bank" and Io being like, "No," because I think she said that in her promo, didn't she? She's like, "If we win Money in the Bank," and Io's just like, "What?" Like she just goes to her like, "No."
But that would make it funny though. That would make it so good where then that would lead the feud for them to now do something with each other.
It is, and here's what if Io does win or Bayley, they keep bringing up on purpose. No woman's ever failed her cash in. No woman's ever failed her cash in, and I'm like, why do they keep repeating this? And I'm like, I'm assuming whoever's getting it is going to fail their cash in, and I could see Bayley causing Io to lose.
Got it.
Do you see what I'm saying? You can see that happening.
But does Io want that on her resume as the first woman to lose her cash in though?
It furthers the feud because I feel like if Bayley causes her to lose, Io's gonna go the fuck off on Bayley. She's gonna go the fuck off.
That only works if Bayley is the Money in the Bank winner and she's the first. Yeah, she wins and then she's the first
wins it twice.
Cash in. Because I feel like WWE needs to learn from lessons that having Damien Sandow cash in and lose did irreversible damage to him. But he wasn't the first to lose. The reason that who did they have first to lose his cash in? John Cena, because it did not hurt John Cena at all.
Hurt him, right.
It didn't hurt him at
true.
all.
And Bayley's won Money in the Bank before. It wouldn't hurt her. She'd be the first woman to win it twice.
Correct.
But she would be the first one to fail the cash in. You're right. You're right.
Second,
See,
really,
SP, this is why.
Who's the second one?
Carmella won it twice.
We're not going to talk about the Carmella incident, okay?
Well, you brought up James Ellsworth, so now we got to talk about why he's invoked in this whole conversation. I will push back though on the whole like commentary talking about no one's ever failed at the cash in. They did that last year too, and clearly that didn't go anywhere. Yeah, so I will add though, it feels like this year more than other years they're putting more emphasis on the women's Money in the Bank, because this is going to be the first year since the first year with Carmella where the woman holds it for longer than 24 hours.
I hope so.
I
Please.
Pray.
It feels like they're sitting on that, and they are going.
Let's have a story with the. Like, don't get me wrong. I was at Money in the Bank Live last year. It was absolutely insane when Liv won it, and then she cashed in for that title, and it was a wonderful moments for her. And the crowd absolutely ate it up, including myself. I was literally crying. But even though it's very impactful and whatever, I would love to see just a good story with the briefcase, which is kind of why I was like, if Becky had it, I know she'd make a good story out of it. Doesn't necessarily need it with the feud she has going on. I feel like Bayley and Io would benefit from it so much more. And of course, if they end up adding Bianca, it's all about the, you can't cut the line type thing. And that's her way of cutting the line, is by winning that briefcase. So there's a lot of ways they can go. It really factors on that last woman that ends up in that mat, I feel like.
Do you think they'll do a loser of that women's title match on SmackDown the night before joins the field?
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. That is one of the greatest moments in
Excuse
WWE
me?
women's wrestling history. Yes,
Oh.
Vince McMahon saying Charlotte
Excuse?
Flair. That's been replayed in my head. I still hear it to this day.
It is the most disliked WWE YouTube video ever. Ever. It has like
That's what makes it great.
25K thumbs down. And I think I was at least 6 of those somehow. I cannot.
At least she's
The
honest.
worst decision ever made in life. And I know you like to stir the pot, sir. But for me, as a Becky fan, I was like, you got to be shitting me. Like, I was just.
But that's what brings good heat, because he knew that would piss everyone off. He knew that would make everyone upset, and he knew how the crowd would react, because again, she was one of those people that was like just shoved down our throats. So therefore, this will piss everyone off. It's great heat. I'm here for it all.
I got a super chat here from our pal Kate saying, hell yeah to these ladies. Love that you're here. And it's good to have you two here. Let's very, very quickly, as we kind of we'll talk about the titles in a second, but Steph and Krissy, talk about the show that you guys do on True Heel Heat. Tell people what y'all talk about there.
You want to go, or you want me to? You want to do it?
Go ahead, Miss Ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, so my tag team partner and myself, we talk about all women's wrestling from all platforms. We do it every other Sunday. Be there or be squared, friends. And yeah, we just have a ton of fun. I can just tell you that Stephanie tries to like sugarcoat it and make it like the sweet part of it. And I'd be like, fuck no. Let's just be honest. And let's just call a spade a spade. She'll tell you.
That's why we make good tag team partners, because I try and keep it positive, and I try and be like,
yay, no.
I try to be nice about things or whatever. No. Every now and then I'll go off, but most of the time I'm like, she tried. And Krissy's like, that shit sucked. And I'm like, yes. Okay.
I'm here for all the heat. Yes, I don't care. I'll take it. So whatever.
Look, the thing is that these women get so much shit from so many people constantly. And so I was trying to in general, our show is just trying to hype them up and obviously talk about the things that frustrate us as fans, right? As far as women's divisions go, things they're doing good, things they're doing poorly. And this is everybody, right? Obviously, you guys know I'm a WWE girl, but Krissy also watches AEW, so we'll talk about it. She updates me. I do watch AEW for the women, so sometimes I know what's going on, sometimes I don't. We have also added in Impact. I started watching that about 4 or 5 months ago. And we will also talk about New Japan and Stardom. Which thanks to SP, he'll be like, you gotta watch this match. And we're like, all right. We've also gotten fan suggestions about matches they want us to watch and kind of talk about as well. And we'll do that too. So it's just, we try and talk about all things wrestling. We are moms, so with full-time jobs. So we don't always watch everything, but we will watch highlights, or we will go back and watch it later. And we talk about it on our show. Mostly it's the Sunday morning. It's a good time. It's chill, relaxed, fun. SP is always in the background there to correct us and or give us facts, which I appreciate, because he remembers everything in his brain somehow, and I don't know how. But he does.
Yes.
But come see us on Serving Hills Sundays every other week. This week it will be pre-recorded because it's Father's Day. Yes. So happy Father's Day to you dads.
Yep.
I'll be spoiling my husband on Father's Day, so this will be a pre-recorded one this weekend. But
yes.
Love it. Before we get out of here with y'all, let's talk about those new women's titles.
Yes.
Who wants to start? We've got
Krissy.
So Krissy has something to say. Just so y'all know, even on our show on Sunday, if you see her rocking like that, you just let her go off, because I'm going to let her go.
Okay, first of all, I do not like the privilege that the guys are getting than the women. Paul H,
Levesque,
whatever the hell you want to call your name right now. I don't feel like Adam Pearce was the person to present belts to the women when you, sir, gave the belts to both men and their time to shine. These were your creations. You are now the leader. You should take lead and be the leader. You should have been out there. You're the one that called and said you signed off on these belts. You should have been the one to give them these belts. I don't care if it was scheduling. I know you're there. So don't give me that shit that you was not there. I know you're there. You're in the back somewhere. I feel like it is a disservice to these women that you did not have the cojones to come out and give these ladies their belts like you did the men. You were in Saudi.
Someone at Triple H. At Triple H.
At him, please. You were cheesing, smiling ear to ear when you gave it to Seth. Then we made this big ass announcement, and you were going to give the ugly belt to Roman. Like it's a carbon copy. Just change the colors and do all these things, and you gave it to Roman. Now you go and you have Asuka. Asuka was by herself. She came out there looking gorgeous, and she got a carbon copy of a color change that my kid probably could have designed better. Then you come out and give Rhea a beautiful belt. I mean, gorgeous. It's white. I mean, stunning.
Gorgeous.
Perfect. But then you let Adam Pearce give her belt. I don't understand what is the disconnect. There's something wrong with this. I think that they're deserving of changing of belts. I am so happy that we do have 2 different belts now. Why do we have to get a W belt again? We could have did some type of design. We could have went classic old school. The W was just washed away. I feel like it's like a updated Divas belt now. It just looks it's just like just shove this down your throat and be quiet. Like what's next? The NXT? It looks like the NXT belt with just the Saved by the Bell colors on the back of it now. It's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is a disservice to the ladies. I'm very, very annoyed and upset with them because they keep doing the same BS. Like why the women do this and then the men get this. This is why we have the women's show, because of shit like this.
So, amen. And so my biggest issue was also why didn't Paul Triple H Levesque present the women with their new titles just like he did the men? To me, that automatically tells me you don't give a shit. Right. Or at least to the same level of shit you do for
I would have took Stephanie, if anything. Like it.
Right. I was like, why not surprise people and have Stephanie come out? And
right. I would have been pleased with that than having the lapdog Pierce.
Look, I love Adam Pearce and everything. Like he does a great job at what he does. Right. But I'm like, if you're talking about presenting new belts to people, you want someone of stature. Not that Adam Pearce doesn't have that, but he's not at Paul Triple H Levesque levels of importance in that company. And for me, I'm like, if you really want to tell people like these are important, why aren't you the one presenting them to them or someone equal to you? And that's very frustrating. I love Rhea's belt. I love Seth's belt more than Roman's. I love Rhea's belt more than Asuka's. I just love that design. I think it's very pretty. That white strap, I think just makes it pop. It's beautiful. Yep. As a marketing strategist, the marketing strategist in me, I understand why they kept the gigantic fucking W. When you see it at, the NBA finals and you see it after the Super Bowl and you see a big W on football players' shoulders and baseball players and NBA players.
Okay,
like,
fine,
it pops.
fine. Okay, yes.
It pops.
And they do go crazy
that
for those
is WWE belt on the Super Bowl champions, right? I get why they kept it. Okay, but my thing is, if you're going to go through the trouble of redesigning and getting a new belt, at least make it look a little different. Like, sure, keep your gigantic fucking W, but let's do something different with it. Like, why isn't it gold? Like, plates.
Oh no, it's gold on there.
But like kind of like similar to Seth. Like, there's gold plates.
Oh,
it's
got
not
it. Okay.
Like someone said the belt looked like burnt nacho cheese. Like, I'm just like,
deep fried belt. Deep fried.
That's what a deep fried belt. And I'm like,
it looked like McDonald's hash brown.
Yeah. Just like they stuck that part in the fryer and said, this looks amazing. I'm just, if we're gonna go through the trouble of getting new belts, let's just make them look a little different, both of them. And they did bare minimum with both Roman's and Asuka's belts. And I'm just like, okay.
Right.
Again, I get the big W marketing, so I'm not going to criticize that as a marketing person. I get why WWE kept it. They still could have made the belt look a little different. So whatever. Rhea's and Seth's belts are obviously elite. Oh, can't use that word. Are a level above the other two, in my opinion. But I am also very frustrated that Paul did not present belts to the women like he did with the men.
Yeah.
It's a good point, and it's something that people have kind of started to bring up over the last couple of weeks. It's a point. It's a true point too. I mean, I don't know who else could have replaced Paul Levesque in this case. There's no woman of authority in WWE anymore that would have made sense. Once upon a time, they would have had Sonya Deville do it, and then she probably would have asked for a title shot. But that's not the point we're trying to make here.
Sonya Deville's the level of Adam Pearce. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. Then it would have been Adam Pearce doing the Seth and Roman presentations, and then Sonya doing the Rhea and Asuka presentations if this had been like a year or two ago. So right. Really, I'm just trying to say there's no one on the Triple H level who would make sense to come out there. But I agree with you that
Triple H's ass should have been out there.
Right. And, people are saying like once upon a time, it would have been Stephanie. It would have been Stephanie McMahon. And then people would have been like, I, as the creator of all women, present to you, bestow upon you.
I created these.
The creator of women's wrestling.
The creator of women. The creator of women.
Creator of all women of all time. But I mentioned this SP3. One thing about the WWE big logo belts on SmackDown, the Roman Reigns belts could look 1 billion times better if they took the WWE logo and instead of doing the black diamond or whatever they pick, do the white diamond with that. And then on Asuka's belt doesn't need to change.
I love that.
It would just inverse the colors between the women's and the men's belt because you have those black leather strap and the white leather strap. Just the coloring would have stood out better. That's the only thing I took away from those belts. Are the way they're going to look. And like you said, Steph, they're going to be on the major sports teams championship mantles and on all the parades. Like the Denver Nuggets are about to get one unless Will Washington gets his way and they make a Nuggets one with the title. Which he's trying to do. God bless that guy. But yeah, that's kind of the way that it goes. Is they take the big WWE title and, like you said, they ship them off to whoever wins the big event, and they say, "Please put this on your next interview, Doc." That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a brilliant marketing strategy, and that's why I can't criticize why they kept it. I can criticize why they didn't change any fucking thing else. So. Hopefully, it is what it is. I'm just glad because we popped off about this on our show before as well about the branded titles for the women, and it sucks because their titles technically end if they had to switch the belts, and it's like that sucks.
Right.
The men don't have to go through that if they switch brands, and I'm just glad that's a non-factor at this point. What are the official names? It's WWE Women's Championship and WWE
World Heavyweight
Women's Championship.
World
Championship.
Yeah, the world belts are on Raw. They're still calling them undisputed on SmackDown, but that's a whole other can of worms because every time that anyone asks,
I saw that.
Told, just
right. Nobody knows. It's like
just go with it. It's fine.
Just go with it. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. It's fine. It'll all make sense.
Why are they calling the undisputed champion? I'm like, I don't. Well, but they're not.
I think they don't even know.
They WWE Women's Champion, but the belt itself says undisputed, and I'm like,
because they got the same plate from Roman, and they just made it smaller, and they were like, man, we gotta take out a whole word.
We don't need to take the text. We don't change the text. It's fine.
Just wait for.
They won't notice.
Makes sense. Don't worry about it. All right. We gotta keep moving. Stephanie, Krissy, thank you so much. Please go ahead, plug your socials. We plug the show. Plug your own stuff. Let's start with you, Krissy. Go ahead.
I am Miss KrssiLuv. You can find me every Saturday morning with SP as we do our flagship show, which is True Hell Heat, and then I'm with my tag team partner, which is over there. We do Serving Face and Heels on Sunday, so be there, be square. Other than that, you can check me on IG, which is KrssiLuv_1, or you can check me out on Twitter, which is True Hill KrssiLuv.
Awesome. I am Stephanie Hypes. You can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Hypes, IG at Stephanie Hypes with 2 S's. Like I said, it's double the fun on Instagram. And you can find me on Sundays, every Sunday, on Serving Face and Heels with my tag team partner, KrssiLuv. SP in the back, holding it down for us. Be us on track. And, you can eat randomly on shows like this and other places, but I'm always up for a good combo. So find me.
Thank you both. This was
on
Same.
Thank you so much, Joel, for having us. And
Yes.
SP.
Have us back any other time.
We'd love to bring you back. So please, please, please don't be strangers. We'll see you soon. And thanks again. This is awesome.
Bye.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Bye.